You're watching the Football Radio Show. We're not the suits that talk football. We're the dudes that know football. Here's your hosts, Casey and Dave.
Hello and welcome to the Football Radio Show. I'm Casey.
And I'm Dave.
It was Wild Card Weekend, Dave, and insane football all weekend long.
An awesome weekend of football.
So good, so good. Let's go ahead and start this back on Saturday. It was the Chiefs at the Colts. The Colts win this game 45-44.
Wow.
Chiefs lose Jamal Charles right off the bat. It looked like that was going to cost them, but a few Andrew Luck turnovers, and all of a sudden it's 38-10 Chiefs.
Yeah, it looked like it was done, but that just set up for another Andrew Luck late comeback. Man, this guy was incredible. 440 plus yards for Luck and 4 touchdowns. It really got kickstarted when Donald Brown fumbled, like basically at the goal line. Luck recovers it and scores it himself. He's taken this thing into his own hands. T.Y. Hilton, though, with an awesome game. 220 plus yards and 2 scores for him. Donald Brown, awesome. I mean, wow, what an incredible comeback for the Colts.
Yeah, and the legend of Andrew Luck continues to rise. And Dave, speaking of Andrew Luck, is it just me, or does he kind of sound like Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs? You don't know what pain is!
Okay.
Check it out,
Check it out. Yeah. Colts, with this win, go to play the Patriots next week. It's going to be awesome. All right, up next, it's going to be the Saints at the Eagles. It was a Saturday night game, Casey, and the Saints win this one 26-24. An awesome performance for the Saints defense, really.
Yeah, they were outstanding in this one. They really held Shady McCoy in check, and they flustered Nick Foles most of the night, held Deshaun Jackson down for most of the evening, too, there. 5 lead changes in this thing late. The Eagles finally get it going. Foles hits Ertz for the go-ahead touchdown, but they left Breezer just about 5 minutes, way too much time.
Yeah.
Saints drive down, get that drive, field goal, game over.
Yeah, we both said the same thing. Uh-oh, too much time for the Breezer here.
You guys are done now, and the Saints are going to move on to play the Seahawks. That is going to be an awesome game.
Awesome.
All right, let's go ahead, moving on to Sunday, back to the AFC. The San Diego Chargers at the Cincinnati Bengals. The Chargers win this one 27-10.
Yeah, awesome game for the Chargers here.
Phillip Rivers, though, dude, even a conservative game plan, he really outplayed Andy Dalton, man.
Yeah, he did. He was very efficient with his quarterbacking, made some very nice throws along the way. They didn't ask him to do too much, only 6 passes in the first half.
But that one dude, that Danny Woodhead, when he rolled out, waited just enough and just floated that thing in there. Great pass, dude.
Yeah, and it was an awesome performance, really, by the Chargers defense. I thought that the halftime adjustments they made when they came out in the second half, they really increased the pressure on Dalton. They really forced errors from Dalton, and they really capitalized on that. The game came into the Chargers' hands offensively. They didn't have to do too much, and their defense really took care of business.
Yeah, great defense, especially in the second half. Like you mentioned, 3 second-half sacks. And they just were hitting Dalton all day, forcing turnovers.
Yeah,
Chargers.
Awesome victory.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Play the Broncos.
That's right. They'll be playing the Broncos next week in Denver. All right, next game up. Of course, the final game of the weekend was an awesome one. The 49ers at the Packers. And this one was tight. It was cold. Not as cold as the coldest game ever, but damn cold nonetheless. And 49ers win this one 23-20. Wow.
This was another awesome game, dude.
Yeah.
This was really a 49ers type game, very physical.
Right.
And the Niners had a couple good drives early on, settled for field goals. I wondered if that was going to come back and hurt them. Turned out it didn't. But this was another back and forth game. And then late, dude, the fourth quarter, Aaron Rodgers on that 4th and 2, avoids the sack, gets out of there, buys some time, finds Randall Cobb. And he actually did that a lot today.
Yeah, he had a great game, despite really a lot of pressure from that 49ers defense. Aaron Rodgers really played a great game.
Unfortunately, they settled for 3 on that drive, left Kaepernick a few minutes, and he drove the Niners down 2 for the game winner as the clock ran down. But once again, dude, Kaepernick with the legs was completely awesome, dude.
Man,
timely run.
Yeah,
too.
and he not only moves the chains, he changes field position with those runs. He gets big pieces of yardage there. What a great game for Kaepernick.
Yeah, it was awesome. And now the Niners are moving on to play the Panthers. And we want to hear from you. What games are you most stoked about next weekend? Go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Comment, let us know what you want to see next weekend.
Yeah, don't forget, also like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at FootballRS, and check us out on Stitcher Radio.
And head over to footballradioshow.com this week because we're going to have all the divisional round playoff previews. Some awesome games next weekend. I'm so stoked. What a great weekend for football this week.
Awesome.
Dude, 28-point comeback, 2 games that ended with a field goal,
Yeah.
and the Chargers, the biggest dog of the week, they win by double digits.
Nice. An incredible weekend of wild card action.
That's the NFL, baby. All right, that is going to do it for this episode of the Football Radio Show. I'm Casey.
And I'm Dave.
And remember, we're not the suits that talk football.
We're the dudes that know football.
Football Radio Show.
Packers